Hi there, this is Krista Moore with The Krista Moore Show, take 2. Hey, I just wanted to share with you challenge number 3. Now, many of you have been tuning in for my challenge that I'm offering, and this challenge is really about rediscovering who you are. Rediscovering who you are at your core before the world told you who you needed to be. We did the looking at your 10-year-old self in the eye and really trying to remember who this little human was. But also the second challenge was thinking about a story that really has meaning for you, that you can go back and rediscover an experience that you had that makes you uniquely you. I shared my story of the racetrack and remembering working at my father's racetrack. And you know, someone just sent me a text and said, well, you realize your book is called Race to Amazing, right? And you used to do the flag at the end of the track. So I never connected the dots to that until this week. But I want to share with you something else that I heard. Someone else texted me and said, hey, like, what if my 10-year-old story is not that great? What if I don't have a lot of really good memories? Or, hey, you know, my parents weren't like yours and I wasn't raised with confidence and, you know, that's a problem. And this isn't about me. This is about you. And I want you to realize that not everyone has had a great 10-year-old story. That's just it. But it's more what you remember and how that impacted who you are today, what you learned from that, and how you overcame. That's what I want you to concentrate on for challenge number 3. Now I want to give you a couple of examples. So I asked a friend of mine, you know, tell me your 10-year-old story. What were you doing? And she's like, I had a terrible 10-year-old. She said, my parents got divorced. We moved. I had a new school to go to. I had to make new friends. All of this was going on at that young age. And she had a really difficult time with both of her parents getting remarried and blending families. Well, fast forward, you know, we've all moved on and we have our own families, but one of her challenges today is the whole blended family and trying to have happiness in that kind of blended family unit. And that's very, very painful for her and very difficult. But because she remembered what she was doing at that time, she's able to better understand why she feels the way that she does. And, you know, she can kind of accept it and move forward. Another example I'll give you is I asked my youngest daughter, Carson, what she was doing when she was 10. And she's like, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. And then she reminded me that that's when Papa died. That was when my father passed away, is when she was 10. And they were very, very close. See, he had emphysema most of her life, and so she only knew him on oxygen. Now, I have to tell you, today, Carson is a respiratory therapist, and she's absolutely amazing at what she does. She'll tell me that she looks at her patients like they're her grandfather. And like that they are her grandfather, and she treats them that way. She can relate to what her patients are feeling. And at the same time, she'll call me and say, Mom, I'm saving lives. She's living with purpose and meaning. But so much of that is connected to who she was when she was younger. But it wasn't until we rediscovered some of these painful memories that she was able to kind of connect the dots. You know, it could be something as simple as, like, my memory that isn't so great is that my mom used to want to have everybody for dinner. And hey, when that meal was on the table, you better be sitting your butt in the chair because we don't want it to get cold. And I remember my father was always late for dinner, and we would take turns calling Rizzo's restaurant as kids to get him home from the bar. He'd work a hard day, he'd stop for a drink, happy hour, before he would come home, we'd have to call and say, Dad, dinner's on the table. But today, I have to have hot food when I'm eating, or I'm like, I get the table ready and it's like, Eddie, are you gonna come? Like, it's dinner time and we've got to sit down and have a hot meal. So it's little things like that that just make us understand our why. Why kind of are we the way that we are? And sometimes rediscovering will help you get there. So I just wanted to share those stories with you and give you that third challenge that it's okay if your memories aren't great. It's more how you overcame and what you learned and better understanding who you are. So that's your third challenge, and I will catch you next week as we get into challenge number 4. Until then, take care.